You can't do this and you can't do that. You can't say black and you can't say white. You gotta wear this and injected for that. You can't burn this and you can't burn that. You can't camp here and you can't camp there. You can't drive this, you've got to drive that. You got to vote for this and you can't vote for that. You can't watch this and you can't watch that. You're ripped off for this and you pay extortionate prices for that. You can't pay with this, you have to pay with that. You can't say this and you can't say that. You're lied to about this and you're lied to about that. You can't go here and you can't go there. You can't eat this and you can't eat that. Where's all this heading, guys? Where's all this taking us? We're losing our freedom. We have to get our freedom back. We have to be more independent. We have to come to places like this where we can do what we want, say what we want, be what we want, be free. We need to gain our freedom back because it's all being taken away. And there's some of the things that I said earlier, that's how we're conditioned. We're losing our freedom, no one's pushing back at all. So enjoy your freedom and hang on to your freedom because it's all being taken away, and try and gain as much freedom as you can by being self-reliant. Or if you can't be free, then it's time to push back. Don't allow all these things to happen to you. We should be able to come and go as we please, roam where we want, do what we want, burn what we want, say what we want. We're just being divided all the time. It's not right, it's not healthy. So, hence why I come to a place like this, where I've got all my freedom as much as I can. Be my own man, do my own thing, not being told what to do, not being watched by cameras, not being watched by my mobile phone. Just me and nature, and that's how it should be. And so many of us are losing that, and so many of us are becoming depressed. We need to tap back into our testosterone and man up to all these problems. Especially on the last video, we're talking about the big fuel crisis and the extortionate bills. Don't put up with that. Be more independent. Be your own man. Don't pay them silly prices, and don't take out loans to pay for debts that you've incurred through heating bills and electric bills. It's just madness. Be more independent, more self-sufficient. Grow your own veg. Collect your own water. So you're not being told what to do. Because the way it's going, we're going to keep being pushed and pushed and pushed. So you're going to be pushed into a corner. Then you're going to have nothing. It's sad to see some people out there that are really struggling mentally because of the situation they're in. A man can't be a man, he's too hemmed in, he's being told what to do all the time. Still like school kids. You've got to do this, you've got to do that. You see that at lockdown. The way people were told to have the jab, the way people were told they couldn't see their families or their loved ones during the lockdown period. I couldn't put up with none of that. If I wanted to do something, I wouldn't have done it. That's why we've got to push back, we've got to do what we think is right, not being told what is right and what is wrong. Do what you think is right. And if you look at other scenarios that have happened in the past, Twin Towers, people told what to do, stay in your rooms. They didn't use their own initiative and incentive, and they perished. And that's what's going to happen to us. We're going to keep listening, we're going to keep doing. It's just going crazy at the moment. Things are escalating. When you add it up, what's happened since 2019 to the present day, and you wrote it all down and you analyse it, there's a lot of things that are happening. Feel the freedom that your ancestors fought for that's being taken away piece by piece, day by day. It's getting worse and worse and worse. It's time to stop being sheep and being herded around. And eventually you're going to end up in a little small pen. And that'll be you and me. So I thought I'd express myself again on this video and definitely more than ever now, it's time to really prepare yourself, not just for the things that are coming, but to regain your freedom, regain who you are as an individual, be more independent, so you can think for yourself rather than being told all the time and listening and waiting for the answers. Work out the answers for yourself, and that's what freedom does, I think. Spending time in nature allows you to think like that, clears your mind, gets you thinking straight, on the straight and narrow, being a honest individual, respectful individual, a sincere individual. I think it all helps. There's so much corruption at the moment, and there's so many people that you just can't trust what they're saying. I really want to bring this video to encourage people to become as free as possible before, it's too late. Things are happening really fast now, and to have that, to cling on to that bit of freedom, just gives you a great foresight and a great future in tough times. Gives you that confidence and that push not to be told what to do all the time. As we see, 2 years ago, we all completely and utterly lost our freedom, and that was a first stage of, let's see how the world's population can cope with losing their freedom. We'd all done as we were told, and then we're paying for the consequences now. People got mental illness, a lot of people have lost their jobs, a lot of people have lost faith in governments and society. So it's definitely time to grab that freedom back, be your own person, be independent, and be independent with your money. Spend your money on resources now, things that you think you'll need, tools, any equipment, power stations, food, water. Utilise that money, because you don't know if that money is going to be worth anything in a few months or a year or so. You just don't know. So get the things you need now that's going to make your life independent, which in turn is going to make you free. Start learning more and more skills, because if the internet goes down and we can't access information, you need to have that skills on board. Maybe get some books which go through everything. How I see it for the future, people aren't going to be able to make ends meet. People aren't going to be able to cope on their own. So communities will be set up by the powers that be, and you'll live in a commune under one rule, doing the same thing day in, day out. And like the saying is, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. That's the saying that's going around at the moment, which I think sums it up. If you really analyse that, own nothing and you'll be happy. And that's where it's going. So don't let that happen to you or any of us in this community. Own as much as you can at the moment, especially resources. Resources are going to be power. Resources bring freedom. So like you can see, if you're new to my channel, this is one of my areas that I use as a location to be free. Nice tent, out the elements, totally off grid. once I utilise all my food stores, I could be here a year quite comfortably, living off grid and not being told what to do. So it's a perfect, if you have the chance and you have the money in the bank, there's no good having large amounts of money in the bank. Go and buy yourself a section of land, maybe put a tent on it, maybe put a cabin on it, stock it up with food and water and fuel, and that's all you really need. I've been doing this in this area now for 3.5 years, and it's taught me so much about what you do need and what you don't need. And pretty much it only boils down to what our ancestors needed was shelter, food and water, and a good bit of hard work, and you're pretty much living free. If I had my time again, from a young age, if you're a young person watching this channel, you should definitely consider buying a piece of land, building your own home, growing your own crops, sorting out your own solar energy power, sorting out a irrigation and water collection system, and you're free as a bird. Once you start getting roped into jobs, conveniences, mortgages, loans, this freedom's slowly slipping away from you. But the time that I've spent here is the most free I've ever felt in my life, and being here and talking to you guys and expressing how I feel is important to me now. I think, you've seen my camp out videos and you've seen bits and pieces of me, but I really want to express how important it is to do something like this, even if it's for a weekend or something. It's so healthy, it's so good for you. But if you are a young buck and you love the great outdoors and you want to be free and you want to be a man, this is the way to go. I see younger generations these days, and it's quite sad to see when I think of my childhood growing up in the 70s, 80s. We had so much freedom. We could do what we want, we could go where we want, we could light fires, we respected nature for what it was. We had more confidence, more self-esteem, had more respect. And nowadays I see young individuals and the way society's taken away their freedom, and they've lost all them elements of manhood at such a young age, when they should be learning about becoming a man and increasing that, so when they reach my age they can be so independent and skill based and so free. Because all this, really, to live like this, just requires confidence, and that confidence comes from a good skill set and belief in yourself. And that's what is killing people these days. They've lost their confidence, they've lost their skill set, and they feel completely and utterly helpless. So they go to the doctors or wherever they go, and then they're prescribed medication, and they've completely and utterly lost their freedom. They're on meds for the rest of their life, instead of coming out into nature and being free and finding themselves. It's quite sad, it's quite heartbreaking. You know, I see a lot of individuals that are in them first stages of that, and a lot of older generation as well that maybe have been a man in their younger days, and society's just chipped away and robbed them of their freedom, and they just become just washed up, which is a real shame. And as a community and myself, you know, I don't want that to happen to me, and I don't want any of that to happen to any of us. So I think it's very important to kick back and get your freedom back. Stand up for what's truly right, what means the most in your life. When you break it down, it's just a few elements, like I said: food, water, shelter, and family, and good friends, and that's pretty much it. And we're all sold all this convenience, all this crap that we don't need, and we get addicted to it. So we work more, borrow more, and eventually your freedom's completely and utterly taken away from you. It's a good topic again. Rely on yourself and your family. Build your skill set, build your resources, get your confidence as high as it can possibly be. Become fit and strong and healthy. Spend time in the outdoors. Really believe in yourself and believe what is right. And I think that makes you a well-rounded individual, a strong character, a strong person, to be able to crack on why things are going a bit tits up around you. So we've had a great chat. Thanks for listening to me, and let me know in your comments any advice to anyone else, you know, about raising confidence, about becoming a more of a man, and things that you think increase your freedom, things that will make you push back and not be dictated to 24/7. Any techniques that you've learnt, the reasons why you like spending time outside in nature and what it does for you, because I know this is so beneficial for me. And it's lovely, Helly, it's lovely for me to come up here and the only thing that's looking at me is trees. And obviously wildlife and shrubs. It's so nice, it's so good for you. But any of you guys that live off grid, any of you live on homesteads and things like that, give me your feedback on how you feel and how it makes you more independent, and how it gives you that pushback of not being told what to do. I think more and more people need to do it. But eventually in my life, I plan to, in a few years, if things go well, to live a permanent off-grid lifestyle. I think it would suit me down to the ground and my family. It's definitely the way to go for me. So anyway, enough chatting, and thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget, leave all your good messages. I read through all your messages, I think they're great. Some of you are really switched on, or most of you are really switched on, and I'm gaining some great tips off you. And a small minority of you just ain't got a clue. You're don't want to be disrespectful or anything, but you're just one of the sheep that's going to be penned in and treat how you deserve to be treated. So thanks a lot, guys, and enjoy the great outdoors, and let's get our freedom back.